Hey, trashy bitches. Oh, she's already off. Welcome to another episode of Bunny and the Beast. I am here with the matriarch of mess. Some know her as a legend. Some know her as a messy hoe. But to me, I call her grandmother, but her full title is Bunny the Twink Slayer.
Oh my goodness, that's the best introduction ever. Well done.
Has no one called you the Twink Slayer before?
Well, various things with Twinks, but not Twink Slayer. But collector, yes.
There's one in every generation.
I love it. That's amazing. Thank you for that, darling.
You are so welcome.
Using your words, I'm so proud.
I know. Vocabulary is finally happening.
Exactly. Working on that for 4 hours this morning, I'm sure. Well, how are you, my angel? Have you had a lovely time? Are you enjoying the sunshine?
I'm loving the sunshine, loving the weather. We opened game night this last week.
Yes.
So
yes, you're all open now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're all open. I've heard that before.
And in a public forum, yes.
Literally, we are open, we are wet, and
yes, very wet. So I've not seen it yet, so I'm really excited. I'm going to come and see it this week, I think. So I can't wait, and I want to be front row, covered in plastic and getting very wet.
Yeah, get all the juice.
And then I'm going to come and see the show too. Yeah. I do have an update on embarrassing stories. Listeners. So,
yes, she does.
She does. Yeah, I forgot to tell last week because it was a few weeks ago now. Obviously, when we record these, it's quite sporadically. There's me going, oh my God, I've never heard an embarrassing story. That's funny. Cut to literally about 4 days later. I'm appearing at the West End Flea Market with so many other people, but I'm doing it as Bunny. I'm doing it as in Panto Dame mode and as kind of a little semi-Dame Nation reunion because Mama G and Miss Courtney were there. Not Miss Courtney. No, I saw her the next day. It was Paul Tate. That was it. Courtney was getting drunk with the next day.
Sounds brilliant.
She was working. She couldn't make that one. I wish she could. That'd be amazing. But so I got ready at a friend's house in town, and sometimes I have friends that live in the central. And it's really, really kind of them to let me get ready there because otherwise traveling, I see so many of the girls in full makeup getting on a train, and I'm like, how are you doing that? I could not get on a train, just from the sense of. One, I think it's probably
You'd usually be stopped for indecent exposure if you did that.
Exactly. Well, yeah, once upon a time you would be arrested. So I think in the back of my head it's still like a thing. So I decided to get ready there, and I thought, it'd be cute. It's 8:30 in the morning. You have to be there silly. I was getting makeup on at 7 a.m. It's like a film shoot. I was like, okay, trying to put mascara on. And I thought I was wearing a costume I used to wear for publicity purposes. Myself and my business partner of the time he had a green one, I had a orange one, and I wore it constantly from 2008 to 2016 when that business partnership dissolved. And so we'd wear it. We'd never wear it in the show. We'd wear it in for appearances. So we walk around in them. So so in other words, they were very well used. I knew I could sit down in it. I knew it was quite comfortable. I've forgotten how hot it was though, and it's not really for hot weather. Why we made these like kind of in fur and heavy embellished materials, I don't know. Anyway, but they look fantastic. I thought
they do look fantastic. You looked amazing.
I thought, I know, it'd be fine. So therefore, walking.
You did look like the head cabin crew of EasyJet.
Did you? Oh my God, yeah, 'cause it's orange. Wow. Oh yeah, it is orange.
And EasyJet, yeah, it works.
Yeah, EasyJet, yeah, but easy. Very easy. So I thought it'd be funny to. Why I thought this. Walk there, which is not that far from Bloomsbury to Covent Garden, and it's 8 o'clock. No one's around. I didn't think about safety issues at that point, but I think I was just a bit too numb at that time of day and a bit half asleep to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm in full battle mode. I know, no one's going to come near me. But the problem was I got halfway there and suddenly I stepped off the curb, and they're like platform boots. And so weirdly, just as the first person decided to come up and say hello to this lady, very sweet. But she was like, oh, how are you doing? And I was about to go, oh, hello, darling. I'm about to go off to do this charity event. As I stepped off the curb, the platform section, not the heel, the platform section literally detached itself. And I didn't fall over, but it was like, whoa, okay. And, trying to then keep keep it together and kind of like always when a member of the public comes up and speaks to you, you're like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to take the boots off. So I literally had, it's amazing how that woke me up though. Adrenaline was pumping. I was like, shoes off, I'm fine. I'm going to walk in my stocking feet, and that's it. But I have to get there because the event starts in about 20 minutes, and I need to be there for press and cutting of ribbon things. I mean, also wouldn't matter if I'm not there, but you kind of expected. Because a lot of other people are there. It's not like I'm cutting the ribbon, but you're in full, like, I'm in show mode. So I managed to get there and found some glue. I was literally, hello, lovely to see you. Took photographs. Right, where's the stage manager? Where's have you got glue? Okay, thank you. Charm, smile, full charm, battle mode. I had to put tape around them both, though, just to make it look like they were both... it was kind of intentional.
Yeah.
So I just ended up with this white tape around my boots. I thought, like, if they're looking at the boots. So I'm not really a shoe person. I'm always a bit like, no, the attention should be up here. And it was fine. It was fine. And then as I was leaving to get a car back, I thought I'd get a car back. The other one went. And the trouble was, I think what's happened, I've not worn them since 2016. The glue must have dried out.
Yeah.
But I've worn these boots all round Dartford, Nottingham, Birmingham, doing promo stuff, and sometimes for a show.
Literally.
So it wasn't like it was multi-purpose shoes I knew were comfortable and could do things in. And they let me down. I was betrayed.
You betrayed.
But it was all. But why was that in front of somebody? Then I had to do the whole event. But no one ever came up. One guy came up and said, like, "Oh, why have you got the tape on the boots?" And we're like, "Funny story." But I use that story. When you're in an embarrassing situation, what you do, you turn it into a comedic story and you tell people. So it just made a great icebreaker with everybody.
Yeah, my therapist says I do that, but he's like, you like to play off all your trauma with a joke, and that's a problem. Like, you always like to have a funny edge, and I'm there like, so what I'm hearing is that you think I'm funny. That's what I hear. And he's like, yeah, we need to work on that.
No, but that's a very British thing. That's a very, very we make jokes out of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. Let alone if you're doing it on stage. I think people do it out of just, in a car accident, and like Brenda was there making jokes, like
Brenda,
as she's been cut free from the from the metal, and I think that's just what we do. That's a coping mechanism, I think.
Yeah, and I think that segues quite well onto the topic of the day, because this was our inaugural topic of horror dating stories, and I went back through the socials and I found so many more that I'd not read or replied to because just
have problems reading.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, there was a lot. You get.
There
I
was a
imagine
lot.
your DMs, by the way, are quite interesting. I would imagine.
I'm not saying anything.
No, exactly. The most annoying thing is I get DMs. Actually, not about you yet. That's quite weird. I get them a lot about David Ames and a lot about Tom Scanlon.
Oh,
none
I feel
about
left
the
out now.
None about the Beast. Weirdly,
none about me. Okay,
that's not.
Ouch. Wounded. How rude. But so we're doing horror date.
I have had. I'm joking. I have ones about you. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
All
Feed
three
my
of them.
ego.
All
All
three.
three. Hey, it's better than none. It's better than none. So we are going to do horror dating stories part 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Yay!
I don't have any horror dating story extra ones to tell.
No,
I don't think. Nothing that was as traumatic as the.
Let's change that. Just to do one for each of us. Is what is your perfect date? What would be the perfect date for you?
Oh.
Or what's your moves? So mine is I only have one. I take them to Greenwich because
this.
It is, yeah. It is. Actually, it is. No, I take them to Greenwich because it's kind of like it feels a bit seasidey, and try white wine and then like a bistro somewhere. And then when you come out, it's all twinkly lights and things, so it's quite romantic.
Oh,
and you could you go down to the Thames. You're always guaranteed to get an amazing first kiss from a date like that. So if I take you to Greenwich, that's what my plans are.
I'm not sure I have moves. I don't. Oh no. Okay, I lie. The things that I
because
think
surely you wear something, or you you know that you're going to.
I'd go. I think an activity date is a good idea. So I've done like bowling with people because it's like if you've got nothing to talk, or crazy golf
Yeah,
as well.
Crazy Golf's great fun.
If I take you to that, it's because there's something in between you that if conversation doesn't always flow, you've got something to always focus on, and that's what I found quite helpful. Also, pub crawling down South Bank, getting rat ass drunk also really helped.
Well, South Bank again, twinkly lights. There we go.
Yeah.
Twinkly lights. There we go.
Pub crawls or activities.
So if I invite you to Greenwich or the Beast invites you to Crazy Golf, you're going to get lucky.
Yeah. If I invite you to hit some balls, run.
So there we go. That's our perfect date. So what would be the horror stories that we have? I'm very excited to hear some of them.
So we've got loads.
Okay.
So we're going to run through them. So thank you, listeners, friends, family, mum, for giving me your dating horror stories. So our first one.
Right, okay.
This one has a title. This is like very fancy. This is called The Messy Matinee.
Is this to do with you?
Hold on, I'm skim reading. No, I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe for now. So, years ago, I agreed to go on a date with a guy and watch a show. I got hammered the night before, and I woke up 1 hour before the said date. I put on any clothes on that were in visible distance, and on the tube, I realized the jeans I had on were covered in dry sick from the night before.
Oh, wowzers.
So I bought a program to cover it up before the show and then used it to cover them up in the entire show and didn't actually read the program. It was a boiling hot summer's day and I was hungover and anxious and not on my best. I then made some crap up to finish the day after the show, went home, got changed, went back out that night, but then bumped into him at Freedom. Suffice to say, he was not impressed.
Well, full marks for party mode. I think perhaps it's time to seek help. I think
I'd be absolutely mortified if I put on any clothing that was covered in my sick.
I think waking up an hour before the matinee was a warning sign there. To start with, if you're waking up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and like running when you know you're going on a date.
Yeah.
No, I'm nocturnal myself. I'm a vampire, so I don't get up early at all if I'm on a schedule where I'm not filming or something, rehearsing something. So that's probably the first sign.
Yeah.
The fact waking up at 1 o'clock, putting on clothes from the night before that I happened in sick. I mean, oh god, but mortifying. Yeah, of course, absolutely mortifying. But full marks for styling it out and buying a program and covering it. I hope it's a brochure. So it was wider, obviously. And then seeing them at Freedom after, traumatized.
You'd just be like, this is awkward. Can the ground just swallow me up, please?
Yeah, I'm mentally thinking of when I've been caught out like that before. No, there's been a few times, and I'm not going to repeat any of them. But
Not yet, she won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Not yet.
None of them are very,
Drink, Nana, drink.
Yeah. None of them make me look good. Anyway,
Data story number 2.
yes.
I told a guy I went on a couple of dates with that my dad had passed away. He replied with his condolences and then told me he wasn't interested in dating anymore because he didn't feel a romantic connection.
Oh gosh. Well, that bereavement is quite a lot.
Straight away.
Obviously, if it's actually happened to you, have you ever lost anybody?
Only my nan.
Yeah. Okay. So that was
My nana.
which can be very important. If my grandmother, my mother's mother, babysat me for most of my childhood, so it was quite close to her. I have lost my father and 2 stepfathers now, which makes my mother sound like a black widow. That's
Hard to say, like mother like son.
Yeah, exactly. Apple. It is if you're in the middle of that process, then that is quite a lot. However, I think that's usually the first thing that will like make people run a mile is talking about things like that because they just don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't know how to react.
It's also it's a lot.
If you've never experienced grief, how could you deal with that? You know it's such a.
But for that person that was then just told, I'm just letting you know, my dad died. It's like, I don't want to see you anymore. Like that's like literally, it's a kick in the bollocks. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not saying it's cute. I'm not saying. But if they can't handle, I should rephrase that. If they can't handle, they have no point of reference of that, then they're not going to be able to cope with.
Absolutely not. So actually, blessing in disguise. Actually,
yeah, real blessing.
People show you who they are. They show you their true colours. I think even from the beginning of that sort of process. I was watching I saw a clip from a movie called The Perfect Man that had Hilary Duff in it, and Caroline Rhea, who was like Aunt Helda in Sabrina, and they say to her, being like, "Why is it in men you can't see the flaws, but in yourself you can only see the flaws?"
Ooh.
And I was like, "Oh, that's fitting."
Oh no, I think we can see the flaws in men. I think we
ignore the flaws. We ignore them.
Yeah.
We have a lovely voice note
Ooh.
that someone sent in, and they've given their permission to be on the pod. So we're going to play this for you now. Let me just turn the volume up.
I'm just going to voice note it. I tried to dictate it, and it didn't make any sense. So I went on a first date with a guy we met through a friend. And it was summer, so I was wearing strappy sandals on this date. We went out on South Bank, had a lovely time, had a fair few drinks, was feeling pretty boozy. It's before Uber, so we wanted to continue the date. But it was in the time when, like, last trains were like 11:30 or something. So it's when I lived in Clapham Junction, where we decided to continue drinking in Clapham Junction. So we went to Waterloo to get the last train, running literally for the last train. We're about to miss it. Jumped on as fast as we could, got there, but as I got there, my stiletto heel got stuck in the grooves getting onto the train, came off my foot, bounced out onto the tracks, doors of the train shut, and the train pulls away, and I'm stood on my date with one shoe. Needless to say, I didn't get a second date, but we did continue that night with only one shoe.
Oh.
You know what? Go on, gal. Go on.
Go for it. Cinderella for the
Reverse.
Reverse. Bless her. That's mortifying, isn't it? But well done for continuing with the date.
I literally just have images of her now just going up and down, up and down, up and down throughout the rest of the day.
Very Carrie Bradshaw, isn't it? It's oh, bless her. That's
Scary Bradshaw.
Scary Bradshaw, yeah.
That is...
Oh, well done for continuing with the date, and mortifying. And I hadn't realised it'd gone down onto the tracks as well. That was like...
completely gone. Like there's actually nothing you can do in that moment. So styling it out and just going...
Gone, yeah.
You know what? This is a funny story.
And isn't it weird when she said at the beginning, before the days of Uber, which it just made me think, oh gosh,
Those existed?
Yeah, because I can't remember the late noughties. I don't know when Uber started. It wasn't that long ago, was it? It was probably like 2013, 14 kind of era, wasn't it? I think it kind of really started to take off.
Something like that,
yeah. I mean, it probably was around before that, but when I started using it, it was about 2014, I think. And it changed everything. I don't think I would have the social life I have now. If you live central, obviously it's a bit different. But if you're getting, because I did a gig last week at Q-Bar, and this guy from up Leicester was there, and he was, I'm pretty sure he's straight and completely lost, and very sweet, older gentleman.
That sounds about right. A straight man coming into your vicinity.
I know,
into your cave.
Yeah, exactly. This one I think was by mistake, but but because he's an older guy, I think he just kind of found a bar and he didn't realise what it was until I arrived, going, "Hello, we're going to spin the wheel, come on." He was saying, "Oh, you should use black cabs, you should do that," and I was like, "Well, yes, that I do in Central, but they don't go any further. They don't go south of the river. That famous joke, isn't it? They don't go south of the river. So to get home safely nowadays, it's like you have to get the last train, or you'd have to get a night bus, which I very rarely. I don't get buses point blank. Apparently, they're these big red things that people get. I don't know.
No.
People have told me these things. However, Uber's literally saved my social life in the last 15 years, because it's literally been 10 years.
It hasn't saved your bank account, though.
No, I'd be thousands and thousands I've spent on them. But I'd rather be alive.
Yeah.
I'd rather be alive than put yourself at risk.
Very true. No, I'm all about an Uber and a Bolt. I started getting
those
Yeah.
Bolt
all the
and Bolt,
the fast cabs.
yeah, all those ones.
So rolling into that one, thank you, person
Yeah,
who
yeah,
gave
I was
that.
gonna say,
I was like, can I give you your name? I'm gonna say no, just to be safe, because GDPR.
Oh well.
Or unless you are the guy that was on the date, then you know exactly who she is.
There we go.
So rolling some of these more dates off,
Yes, go ahead.
and we're just gonna get Bunny's blind reaction.
Right.
I mean, takes the glasses off and she is blind.
Blind as a bat, can't say a thing. Yeah, I should look attractive. Oh, there we go.
A guy said he sees spirits and ghosts, and that they said I was really into him. ... I was not.
So the person said they can see like spirits.
them, yes.
To them, I can see spirits, and they're saying
You're really into me.
you're the person that's telling the story is really into the person on the date.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smooth. That is.
You think that's smooth? That's weird.
No, it is very weird, but that's. I'm taking the mickey here.
I was about to
smooth
say,
as in like, smooth as in like, wow, that's like, oh, creepy and funny, and I mean, if you're doing it ironically, sure, but if it's
But I don't know if you can ever deliver that in a way that's
Yeah.
not creepy. It's like, I see spirits and ghosts, and they tell me you're really into me. It's like, that's how I read that. I don't know how you can play it cool.
No, well, I'm remember my fan base. I am the queen of the cult movies and horror, so that's quite normal.
And you definitely are the queen of horror when you're not in drag.
Exactly. Oh, it is. It's a.
Ah!
It's a. That's without glasses on.
Yeah, literally. Next one. Someone alluded that they dated someone famous.
All right.
It turned out the famous person was a serial killer. I don't know which serial killer, but...
Oh, my word.
Oh, I just whacked the mic. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, poor Mike.
Poor Mike. Get back under the table, Mike.
Where you belong. A serial killer. Oh my goodness, that's not a famous person. That's a
The
ultimate red flag, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
Although let's
I wouldn't
face-
say that's on my. I wouldn't say that's on my list of things that I look for. I'm like, oh, you a serial killer?
But thinking about our dating history and our terrible taste in men, I think that's probably an up.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well.
Actually, I'm not going down that hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
One guy, he brought his boyfriend along, which he never mentioned.
Wow, that's what? Yeah, where did they meet? That probably wasn't on that was probably on an app, wasn't it?
I think that wasn't a really. That sounds like they met on a really good, wholesome Christian lady app.
Yeah. No, that was
Probably not.
no, yeah, that's probably.
But imagine speaking to a guy that you're going to go on a date and then thinking, obviously we live in a world now where there are so many different forms of a relationship now.
Yes.
We have monogamous, we have polyamorous, we have open, we have closed, we have in, out, shake you all about and you're done. But if you don't know the fact that this person is into being in a throuple, that's going to be, one, why would you go on a date and try and get me into that sort of side of things without mentioning that's a really big
without
thing?
mentioning it, yeah. It's like what was going to be the next thing that happens? What was the
That's
what
why
was the
I
guy with the
thought
boyfriend?
catfishes.
Yeah.
I was like, why are people catfishing? Because if you try and meet up with somebody,
yeah.
they're going to go, that's not you. So what do you gain from this?
I get with catfishing. I guess it's just to get information or photographs or nudes from people. I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of.
And leak them online. Trash bags. That's pointed.
Okay. I feel like there's a story there, but I don't know. I'm too scared to ask.
Oh no, all explicit photos of me have been removed from the internet now.
I've seen your Instagram. They're not. They're still there.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
Someone went, a date? What's that?
Oh, true. Well,
That's,
I mean, yeah. Well, also, it depends what you mean by a date. A date, if I haven't been on that many dates in my entire life, as in somebody I've never known or slept with before, and going out and trying to make small talk like it's a LinkedIn sort of meeting.
There were moments when I was 21. I just broke up with my first ever boyfriend. I became a serial dater. Like, there were times when I went on a lunch date, and then the very same night I had a different date with a different person for dinner.
Ooh, girls got to eat, haven't they?
That's what I was going to say.
If I look like you at 23, then I'm sure I'd be doing the same thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Someone's actually written in a story about me.
Proceed.
So you know how I said my move was crazy golf?
Yes.
So there's this one crazy golf place in Battersea, and they have a moment where like you go into a room and it's a dark it's a dark hole. Not an innuendo.
Enough of your username. Thank you very much.
But you got to try and get hole in one, obviously. But it's like it's a dark room. It's private. There's no one around, and we ended up like kissing and getting off and stuff like that. Not in like a really raunchy way, but just the moment's there. You steal the moment, right? But this guy said, "Oh, this guy jumped me in a dark room at Crazy Golf." And all I'm going to say is it was consensual jump. It was consensual jump.
Yeah. Was it a nice date? Did you see them again?
Well, yeah, we did see each other for a while, and and then we had sex, and then he was like, "Yeah, no thanks." That same night, that exact same night.
This is why I sleep with them first, then date them, because it gets it out the way.
I know, it's absolutely awful. But someone then came in and said, oh, they arranged to meet at an interesting seminar. Weird choice for a date, I think. And the seminar was a Scientology induction session.
Ooh, of all things as well. Isn't that where they kind of not cure homosexuality, but that's probably not the right word to say, is it? But it's quite infamously that high-profile homosexuals allegedly kind of present as heteronormative.
Yeah, very, very that.
No names, but like, yes. Ooh, that's not. But then I think I never thought Scientology was particularly very sneaky like that. I didn't think they tried to indoctrinate people, but I think they do actually.
Yeah,
I heard a few stories, I think, from you.
Organized religion just does make me feel a bit uncomfortable anyway. Each of their own. If that gives you comfort and joy, love that for you, but makes me just feel a bit weird.
Yeah, don't.
Another person, second drink in, and he says smokers and fat people don't deserve NHS care.
Well, that makes you want to get a puppy with them.
Literally.
Wow, they sound lovely. What? I know what they're saying, but like that isn't the most snuggly caring.
No, God no. You want someone who's no, God no.
I'd probably believe at that point.
I'm gonna go for 3 more.
Okay.
The date got so drunk he fell onto the track at Leicester Square afterwards. ... He was rich though. And our producers there going, yeah, we get it.
Yeah. By the way, you do that after the wedding ceremony. You push them onto the tracks, not before. Rookie mistake.
No, absolutely. And then another one. One of my clients actually sent me this. PT client, not that kind of client.
I didn't say anything.
Because you'd get your check in the post. The house takes 50%. You're a mother Malin bleeding me dry. The first thing he said to me was, I'm excited to try a brown boy.
Oh, that's again very romantic, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. For that.
So why are we?
I hate the fetishism thing as well. That's why I don't like being called. I don't like to be called daddy very much, because obviously that is my casting bracket. I get that, but being called names like that is a bit like you're not really seeing me. You're seeing the fetish any more than people looking at you like they muscly.
Yeah, they don't say. I'm like, I am more than like this person is so charming and so lovely. And
is there more?
To me, yes. I have layers. I usually take them off on Instagram. Before you got there.
Yeah, well done.
And then our final one that is really worrying, because also I've said that my brother's gay as well. So this is where, this hasn't happened to me, but I'd be mortified if it did. The guy had asked me out because my brother had rejected him, and I found out on the date.
Ooh. Oh.
Imagine. Imagine.
Ew. I want to scratch my skin off. That's horrible.
I'm like,
I'm an only child, that makes me feel uncomfortable.
who in their right mind's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll go for the brother.
Well, again, that's kind of, that's not fetishizing. I think that's probably just out for revenge, isn't it? That's kind of to sort of get back at the brother.
Yeah, probably just to be like, well,
I've set you, but yeah, that's literally out for that's spiteful. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. Makes my skin crawl.
yes.
Oh.
Very, very worrying. And people make a variety of choices.
Yes, they do. Well, great stories, though. Thank you.
They were beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you for writing those in.
I'm sure we'll do a part 3 because I'm sure there's going to be more. So if you want to send us your dating horror stories and us to be shocked and appalled and aroused sometimes by them, do send them into
bunnyandthebeast69@gmail.com. But to finish up, we can't not do this.
Oh, yes.
If you were an animate object in the Beast Castle today, what would you be and why?
What would I be? I would be, I think, a diary. I would be a diary full of secrets and things I'm not going to tell about people kissing people in Soho.
You can die. And
the thing is, there's about multiple versions of that as
yes,
well.
there are. No, up! And it's weird that you went for diary, because for me right now, I feel like a self-help book that's completely blank.
Oh, gosh, yes, completely. But yeah, there's nothing in there.
It's
There's
50
nothing
blank
there.
pages.
Yeah, 50 blank pages.
Yeah, so that was us today. So from me, the Beast, and Bunny the Twink Slayer, I'm going to murder her in a second. I'm going to push her down the stairs and get that inheritance, finally. All the wigs. We shall see you all next week. Stay trashy.